You're living in a world right now where we call, or we refer to it as the Agent Smith effect. You are not who you think you are. The voice in your head, the one that tells you what's safe to say, what's risky to question, what might cost you your job, your friends, your place in the hive. That voice isn't yours anymore. It belongs to something else. That's the Agent Smith effect, the slow, invisible, moral malware that turns free thinkers into identical copies of the system that they once theoretically resisted. You've heard of red pill and blue pill and white pill and even black pill. This is something different. This is the overview. Because remember, Smith began as an agent, an AI program in the matrix, programmed to keep order within the system by terminating human simulacra, versions of this, copies that would bring instability to the simulated reality, as well as any rogue programs that no longer serve a purpose to the machine collective. Sound familiar? Remember this scene in The Matrix? Remember? Agent Smith doesn't fight. He infects. He duplicates. He overwrites, in effect, the human code until the rebel becomes another replica, another simulacrum. You see, that's not fiction. Oh, no. That's happening right now. Right now before us. Look around you, my friend. Every headline reads the same. Every so-called opinion sounds rehearsed. The outrage is identical. The compassion mechanical. And the thinking, well, it just seems pre-approved, especially from the people that you think are on your side. The personalities that you mimic and replicate and copy yourself. It works both ways. You see, everyone speaks the same moral language. Like they downloaded the same emotional operating system. Is this starting to sound familiar? It will. The Agent Smith effect isn't theoretically a virus in a machine. It's a virus in the mind. Oh, and we're seeing this all the time. It begins quietly, a hesitation, a thought unspoken. You stop posting. Maybe you stop questioning. Maybe you stop noticing. You censor yourself. You watch it. You hit the brakes because you know what happens when you don't, when you step out of line. You've seen what happens to people who ask the wrong questions. You've been around. They disappear, not into prison, but into silence. And I'm going to say this again. You see this even within the framework of your own opinion scheme, your like-minded folks, the people you look up to, the famous personalities. Even within that, if you stray, if you say something negative about this chosen person or that loved one, oh, you're through. It's not just the right or the left, it's everywhere. You see, that's the brilliance and the beauty of modern control. You don't need, secret police when everyone polices themselves. I've always said it's not the thought police that scare me. It's the thought vigilantes. And they're everywhere. And that's the point. Control no longer needs some dictator or leader. It just needs data. Oh, this is brand new, kids. You see, the system doesn't conquer you by force. It seduces you with belonging. It sells you conformity as kindness. It packages obedience as morality. And it trains you, in effect, to call submission empathy. Isn't it great? See how we're rewiring this? You begin to think you're a good person because you never make anyone uncomfortable. You say the right things, again, even within the framework of your group. But that's not goodness. Oh, no. That's surrender. You see, that's the Agent Smith effect. And when you see it and when you notice it, that's all you'll see. It's the replacement of conscience with compliance. Watch how it spreads. Watch how it perfuses. Watch how it extravasates from one system to another. One person says something, unapproved. I get this all the time. And within hours, the swarm arrives. The identical language, identical moral panic, identical talking points, each being fed to the other by the other. It's not coordination. It's code. It's like a swarm. It's like that, like startling murmurations. The machine writes the outrage, and you, the humans, perform it. And you do it perfectly, not deliberately, but out of habit, out of practice. They tell you what is acceptable, what is hateful, what is safe, what is okay, what's for your own good. Again, even within your accepted group of like-minded fellow travelers. I get this one all the time. Say the wrong thing about someone they love and choose. Oh, God. Oh, what's your problem? How dare you? Don't say anything about him or her. That's our beloved. That's our leader. That's our hero. We're going to turn you in. This is within people supposedly on my same team. You better obey, not because you fear punishment, but because you crave permission. That's the trap. You don't even realize it. And it's beautiful. You start thinking the way they want you to think, the way they want you before they even ask. You anticipate the next command. You call it progress. You call it programming. They call it programming or learning. You've learned. And when the last trace of individuality is gone, when every word is filtered and every joke is suspect and every instinct is analyzed and reanalyzed, you look around you and you realize what you've become is what you once mocked. You're a clone in a moral costume or some type of camouflage. That's the moment when freedom dies. Not in a revolution, but in a shrug, oh, this is good stuff, my friends. Listen to me. You know, we tell ourselves, oh, no, it's temporary. We'll speak up later. It's just kind of maybe introductory to get into it. I want to get into this cool group of cool people, so I'm going to say what they like. I'm not going to question them. They got you. Remember, it's not so much the conformity from those of the opposition or the enemy. Of course, they're the enemy. It's the people around you that supposedly are your friend, the like-minded. We'll fight back one day. That's what you do someday. But someday never comes. Because comfort becomes your cage. Comfort and complacency becomes your jail. Evil doesn't storm the gates anymore. No, evil whispers through terms of service and community guidelines. It hides behind policies and fact checks and trust and safety labels. It tells you it's keeping you secure while it strips you of the very right you have to be wrong. Now understand something. Good and evil aren't about sides anymore. They're about, in essence, reality itself. Good is authenticity. Evil is the algorithm, if you prefer, that replaces it. You see, the system doesn't want your destruction. No. It needs you. It wants your duplication. It wants you sterilized. It wants you completely disarmed and then multiplied. And wants to turn every human into an echo chamber. An echo chamber that repeats the same safe ideas until truth itself sounds dangerous. And you've seen this before. Remember, you only take flack when you're over the target. See, that's why they fear humor or skepticism or parody or lampooning or irony. You know, those things, oh no, those things cannot be coded. We don't like that. That's why they hate unpredictability. It reminds them, in essence, that you're still human. So, what do we do? Better yet, what do you do? How do you fight something that lives in your own head? You don't even realize it. You don't realize it's not your fault. First, recognize the infection. That's step one. When you feel that tightening in your chest before you speak, maybe that sudden urge to self-censor, that's the program. It's not caution, it's conditioning. Identify it, and it loses power. Identify it, and you neutralize it. Second, rebuild friction. The system thrives on smoothness, instant approval, effortless scrolling, passive consumption. Easy does it. So stop scrolling. Stop reacting. Start thinking in full sentences again. Think. Read the thing they tell you not to read. Listen to the person they tell you to hate. Again, even in your group. And third, protect your language. Every time you surrender a word, you surrender a thought. When they rename lies as narratives, and when they refile or recategorize propaganda as fact-checking, refuse the translation. Speak plainly. Call things what they are. Balls and strikes. Fourth, practice disobedience in small doses. It's like muscle memory. Say the true thing in public once a day. Watch the silence. Feel the fear. Push through it. That's how you rebuild immunity, because that's what this is. Immunity against the virus. And finally, dear friend, remember that this isn't just politics. It's spiritual, cognitive warfare. Without religion, good versus evil, disguised as etiquette. The line isn't left versus right. It's real versus synthetic. I can't say that enough. Because, my friend, you see, the Agent Smith effect wants you to think that standing alone makes you wrong. But that's the lie. That's the lie that keeps the machine alive. Because every time one person refuses to repeat the script, again, even within your group, the code falters. It breaks down. And the system cannot replicate authenticity. It can mimic style and mimic slogans and perseverate emotion, if you will, but it can't mimic soul and authenticity and reality. That's your weapon. Not rage, not protest, but reality. You fight by existing. Existing is something the program cannot predict, cannot control. By laughing when you're supposed to tremble. By speaking when you're supposed to whisper. By yelling when you're supposed to keep quiet. By remembering when you're supposed to forget. Say goodbye to compliance. Say goodbye to this intellectual slavery. They can ban you. They can shadow you. They can shadow ban you. They can smear you. But they cannot copy what makes you unpredictable. That is the spark. That is the thing, the essence that breaks the loop. So, my friend, here is your mission. This is what you should do. Listen carefully. Stop waiting for permission to be real. Stop apologizing for clarity. Stop hiding behind euphemisms. Defend your mind and your soul and your heart like you defend your home. Guard your words. Guard your sense of humor. Guard who you are. Guard your memory of what life felt like before everything had a filter and a warning label. Remember, history usually is wonderful. Is a wonderful thing if only it were true, as Tolstoy said. But our individual memory, that's 100%. And when the swarm comes, and it will, stand still, stand tall. Let them rage. Let them quote their scripts. Let them look you dead in the eye and say, I am not a copy. You tell them that. You say this, I am not a copy. I cannot be programmed. That's how it starts. Again, understand something, not with a revolution, but with recognition. And never with violence, but with truth. It's very, very simple. You don't need millions. You need courage. And you don't need permission. You need conviction. Can you do this? You don't need to win tomorrow. You need to remain human in who you are today. It's that simple. Because the most important thing, once enough of us stop mirroring the madness in every way, again, including within our own groups, the system collapses under its own repetition. See, that's the beautiful part about this. That's the glory. The machine, this thing, the matrix, whatever, it can't survive originality. It starves without conformity, without this obeisance. So be the glitch, be the error, be the unpredictable variable in the equation that throws things off. That's the beautiful part. That's the real rebellion. And it's so easy, and it's so fulfilling. The Agent Smith effect ends when you stop letting them copy you. And you're going to do that right now. And I thank you for that. We're going to stick through this together. We're going to be a part of this. This is glorious, my friends. We can do it. Do me a great favor too, I ask. I'm sorry. Please like this video. You know how metrics work. Subscribe to the channel. And whatever you do, as we always say, comment below. Comment as you see fit.